Alright, so you guys, today I'm going to be bottling some kombucha. For my kombucha, I'm going to be using these flip top bottles, but if you have another bottle that you want to use, feel free to use it. I know you guys can probably hear the kids in the background. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I started posting some videos a while ago that I switched over to a continuous brew kombucha, and this has been working out pretty well for me. So this is it right here. And I usually will bottle about 6 of these at a time, well, 6 bottles at a time, and then I'll just add another gallon of sweet tea to this, and then I'll let it sit for a couple days and I'll test it, and when I think it tastes just about right, I'll go ahead and bottle some more. Today I'm not going to be doing any heavy flavoring, but I did find when I add some kind of fresh fruit to my kombucha, it seems to get a lot fizzier and bubblier. So just for that, I'm chopped up some fresh strawberries right here, and then I'm going to also be adding in a teaspoon of sugar. So we're going to go ahead and get started filling up these bottles. I just like to pull it out here to the edge. Let's get it a little closer. Out here to the edge like so. And actually, no, what I'm going to do, is I'm actually going to measure out the strawberries and put my strawberries into each bottle and my sugar. That way I don't have to go back and I can just fill them up and cap them. So let me go ahead and get a measuring spoon out so that I can equally divide the strawberries into these bottles, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm doing right here, I just took a tablespoon and I'm just going to measure this by the tablespoon into each one of these bottles. I had about 5 strawberries, so it was kind of easy to divide these among these bottles. Okay, so now I have all the strawberries in the bottle, and just to note, usually I would actually just puree the strawberry down with the sugar and a little bit of kombucha, and then I will just equally pour that in here, but I just couldn't find my the piece for my blender, so that's why I chopped them up today. I know some people just chop them. I actually prefer when I actually puree them, because then I don't have to worry about the fruit bits in there, but either way it'll still work out fine. And now this step is optional. You don't have to actually do this, but because I'm not adding a lot of like super sweet like juice or a lot of fruit in here, I am just going back and adding about a teaspoon of sugar to this. And I've seen lots of people, they talk about the different kind of sugar that they use, like organic sugar and things like that, but personally I've always had success just using just regular white granulated sugar. It's worked out fine for me, and I don't see a reason to change that up right now unless I'm going to completely change it and make the whole thing organic. Then I don't really see changing out my sugar. So here we have that. So now that I have all the sugar in there, I'm just going to move these over to the side, and I'm going to move my brewing vessel up right here, and you guys can see this is my SCOBY in there. Everything's looking nice and healthy. I like using this clear vessel because I can easily see what's going on inside of there. Like I can see if there's any like icky stuff happening with my SCOBY or my mushroom on top, or if there's anything in here. Like sometimes I'll take a light and I'll flash it in there kind of up and down just to make sure I don't have any extra things happening in there. And just like right here, I can clearly see across here, my mushroom looks really good. It's nice looking on top. I'll save that for another video where we actually get more into like the mushroom and things to look for when making sure that it's nice and healthy. I don't have any like crazy looking spots or growths or anything going on there. So I am going to go ahead and start to bottle this up. So for me to bottle, this is a stainless steel spigot. It's not a lot of metal actually in contact with my kombucha, as there is like a rubber gasket on the inside, so it's not actually touching the metal of the spigot until it comes out. So I'm just going to fill my bottles up, and I like to fill them up until I get to right at about the neck. As you guys see, I'll show it to you guys before I cap it up. I'm just getting this nice and full. I'm going to slow it down now. And this already actually got a little bit fizzy coming out, and I'm going to show you guys that too. So just so you guys can see, this is what my kombucha is looking like already, straight out of this container over here. You see it's already has a nice amount of fizz and bubble to it. Now because I have all these bubbles right here, I'm going to no, I'll go ahead and finish filling it up. I'm going to fill it up to right about here, and then I'll show you guys before I get these put away. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this one up really quick. Turn the speed at which I pour this down. Okay, so now it looks like I filled it up higher than I said, but you got to remember this is all going to dissipate right here, and it should end up just about here. You can kind of see where it's going to end up. So you just want to keep pouring until you get that up to there. So that way you have just a little bit of space encased in there, but it's not too low where it's not going to take forever for it to carbonate. So we're going to go ahead and flip this around the right way. Cap that one up, and I'm going to move on to getting the rest of these done. Okay, so as you guys are watching this, you may notice that instead of just immediately capping these up like I did that first bottle, I did just kind of go ahead and fill them up as far as I could, and then I just left it open while I filled the rest of them up, only because it was a lot of fizz in these, and I wanted to make sure I got them filled up to the space I wanted. So I just left them open until I finished, and then went back to add just a little bit more before capping these up. Alright you guys, so now I have all 6 of my bottles nice and bottled up. I did leave about this much space on here. Like I said, I just kind of filled them up right to the top of the neck, and this is what they're looking like. I will say that when you chop the fruit up like that, isn't that pretty? I think that looks so nice in the bottles like this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to push my vessel back so you guys see I used about half of the amount that was in here, and then I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to pour another batch of my sweet tea, and I'll tell you how I made my sweet tea as I do that into this vessel so it can be starting to brew up for my next 6 bottles, because I only have 5 in the fridge right now. So I'm just going to push this back out the way. Now what I like to do is I have this box right here, and inside the box, if you guys can see it, I don't know, I don't have a lot of space, but it's just the box that the bottles came in. And I'm just gonna put them in here really quick, and I'm gonna put this under my cabinet for about 3 days, and then I'll take a look at it. I found that lately my bottles have been going 3 to 6 days before I move them to the refrigerator, but this batch was extra busy as I was filling them, so I really think at the 3-day mark I'm gonna actually open one and see if they're ready to be moved to the refrigerator. So just again, I want you guys to really get a good look at that. See if we can focus that. You see that? It's already nice and bubbly and fizzy in there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get these put away, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I add my tea. Alright, so now that I have the bottled kombucha, the already prepared kombucha, nice and put away so I can do my second ferment, what I'm going to do now is replenish the amount that's in my vessel right here. As you can see, like I said, I used about half of it. Something I didn't mention is when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the things you're using is clean. I cleaned the pot before I made my tea, and then I had it covered. I keep this nice and covered so we don't get things in there, like the cups and everything. Should be relatively clean before you get started, and make sure like you're washing your hands and stuff. So now my hands are dry and ashy because I've been washing them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my band. I just use that to secure the top of this down, that way no fruit flies or any contaminants can get in there. And again, I'm going to take a look at the top of my SCOBY, just or my mushroom, just looking at it, making sure everything looks good in there. Everything is looking good in there. And it's really easy. This is what I like about the continuous brew. I don't have to pull out my 1 gallon mason jars anymore. I just, you know, bottle out what I'm going to use. And then this right here is my tea. What I did, I actually boiled 8 bags of black tea in 4 cups of water. And that way it was nice and concentrated. And then to that, I've already added another 8 cups of water. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour about half of this in here. Actually, I just wanna make sure it's not too hot. Oh, that is some good tea. Oh man, I can just drink that just the way it is. But and now I will not be putting that spoon back in there because I just put it in my mouth. But like I said, so far I have about 12 cups of prepared tea in here. I'm gonna pour about half of this in, and I'm gonna add in another 4 cups. That way I'm adding 16 cups of prepared tea in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring this in. So I'll pour that, and I'm gonna add some more water. That way I'm back up to my 16 cups. And I'm just going to pour the rest of that in there. There we go. And now, you guys can see it, but my SCOBY or my mushroom is just going to slowly making his way back up to the top because I poured it right on there. I actually kind of like doing it too because it stirs it up a little bit. I don't know if that does anything different, but I don't know. It's just something that I do. And there we have it right here. I'm gonna give you guys a quick peek at what it looks like in there. And then, yeah, I guess that'll be it. If you guys have any questions about this process, please feel free to drop them down below and let me know what you guys are thinking. Or if you guys make kombucha, what is your favorite flavor to make and how do you do it? So go ahead, drop that down below and let me know what you guys think. All right, so there it is. This is what my SCOBY looks like. You see I don't have any growths or anything like that on there. It's very smooth. I got a couple little air pockets in there, but that's not a big deal. I'm gonna get a little bit closer over here. You guys can see I have a couple layers of SCOBY going. Once it gets a little bit thicker, I may start a SCOBY hotel. I do keep this over here on this side. It lets me know about what the temperature is in there. It's saying it's a little bit warm right now, but that's fine because I want to try to keep it up to about 80. So I know it's going to come to about 80 once I mix this up a little bit. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching.